Hi, John Spark here from Your Travel Planners, and today I want to share with you a special experience that's close to my heart, and it happened to me on my recent trip to Peru. And I guess what it highlights is, first of all, the unexpected that happens on a travel, and also how age and language are no barriers when it comes to communicate. So let me start. We were well into our trip by this point, and we were staying on Amanati Island, which is in the middle of, or on the edge of Lake Titicaca in Peru. And I want you to understand it's at about 4,200 odd meters, so it's very high. The island we went to had fairly much no electricity, no vehicles, only donkeys and walking and trails around the place. And the people who lived on this island, it's actually known as the Sacred Island, have lived here pretty much in the same sort of way since the beginning of time. And we were lucky enough to be able to stay with a family there. And this family had no electricity, they had no hot water, they did have cold running water. And I want you to know, it was not just cold running water. On one of the mornings it was actually minus 15 degrees, so it was pretty damn cold just in its own right. And you know, these people were walking around with sandals and no socks on. It was incredible how they could handle the cold. But that's not what I want to talk about. I want to share this experience that happened after we'd got up early in the morning and been up to the top of the island to witness the sunrise, which in its own right was fantastic. In fact, if you look on a couple of earlier posts, Nilla's posted a picture of her and I there on the 24 years of living with Nilla post. So check it out if you get a chance. But when we got back to the house, I was really cold and tired. So I said to Nilla, come on, I want to lay down and go to bed for a while. Unfortunately, I was so cold that I couldn't get warm in bed. So I got up, went outside, and walked out into like a little back dirt paddock about 30-40 meters from the house. And when I got out there, I noticed this little puppy that was about this long and about this high, and a really dirty, relatively neglected dog on a piece of chain and dirt about this long with a stake in the ground. The hill was on a slight slope, and there was a bit of a hollow in the hill where with a bit of iron over the top, and that was obviously the dog's home. When I got out there, I found it had no water. So what I did, I went and got it some water and I lapped it up, and it was really good. Later that day, the young fella the young son of the owners of the house, Cleaver, who was 5 years old, came back. Now he speaks Spanish, I speak English, we couldn't communicate in a fit. But I wanted to show him that he needed to keep the dog watered, and I thought this is going to be quite an interesting exercise because, well, obviously I can't speak the language. So I got him by the hand and led him up to the dog kennel area and demonstrated to him that, you know, the dog needed water, and I was talking to him, and like I am now, and using sign language. So he ran off and back down to the house, and I thought, oh, I wonder where he's gone. So, or what he's doing, I wonder if he's understood anything. Anyway, a few minutes later he comes out with this big basin of water about this big and round and about that deep, enough water to swim in. The dog could have done laps in it, it was so deep. And I thought, wow, so I got on the end of it and I helped him carry it out to the dog. Of course the dog's bowl's only a plate about this big. So he tips it in there and it goes everywhere, and there's, you know, miles more than what you needed, but he got the idea, so that was fantastic. Next thing, after we'd given the dog the water, I thought, oh, that's good. And then he gets up onto the top left-hand side of the kennel, or the hole in the ground, was a blanket. And he grabbed the blanket and shaken all the dirt off it. I'd sat only a few feet from it, and I hadn't even noticed it. It was that dirty and blended in so well with the colour of the soil. So he gets into the dog kennel and he throws it into the hole in the ground. I thought, oh, that's good. Next thing, he's in there and he's pushing up the sides of it like this, so he's made it so neat, like you and I would make a bed, and for the dog. And I thought, wow, that's really cool, beautiful. So then he takes off again. I thought, huh, wonder what's going on now. So I waited for a few minutes and he didn't come back. I thought, oh, well, that's it. The dog's watered, the dog's got somewhere to sleep. That must be it. I walk back down to the house, and as I get down there, out he comes with another little plate about this big with a broth in it, for the dog, so he thought about giving the dog some food, so that was fantastic. Takes it up, gives the dog the food, and we sit there for a little while, and I'm just quite taken that I've managed to communicate that the dog needed these things, and hopefully I've encouraged him to continue to do that every day. No idea whether it sunk in or not, because of course I can't speak the language. So he grabs my hand after we've made the dog comfortable, given him some food, and leads me back down to the house. So this is where it gets interesting. So bear in mind, I have no idea what's going on at this point, so we're trotting along holding hands. It goes into the little courtyard area of the house, and one corner of the house is like a wall here with a doorway, and he opens the door, and it's the underneath of the house, and it's just full of bits and pieces and junk and metal and goodness knows what else. So he starts climbing up over the top of it, and he's in there and he's lifting things, throwing things here, throwing things there. And I'm watching him for a good minute or two. It felt like that long at least. And then next minute he comes up and he's got a soccer ball. I thought, whoa, he found a soccer ball. This is going to be interesting. So he comes down, he throws the ball down at me, climbs down off all the stuff, grabs me by the hand, and then proceeds to lead me around the house and up a different way up the back of the house to a sort of a sloping, relatively flat piece of grassland. And he and I started kicking the soccer ball around for the next 15 or 20 minutes, and it was just gold. And I guess that's the sort of experience that you just can't get at home. But not only can you not get at home, it really highlights how everybody can communicate, and you know, political or otherwise, that we should all be able to do this. And it's touched my heart. And there's some more story I'll tell you on another version a bit later on. But I just hope that when you travel, that you get the opportunity to perhaps experience something like that. And for me, it was gold. And I am deeply grateful that I've had the opportunity. So this is John Spark from Your Travel Planner saying, remember, without your travel planner, you are on your own.